All right, good morning everyone. Welcome to OmniBUZZ. And today we have our special guest straight from Singapore. And today we have Mbak Desta. Hello, Desta.
Hi. Just call me Desta lah.
Okay, just call you Desta. Oh, call me Desta lah. You sounds like Singapore now. You sounds like a
Ah,
Singaporean now.
I think it's because every day I talk to Singaporeans, so yeah, it's something that
Yeah.
really happened to me.
It's okay. It's okay to speak like a Singaporean as long as people understand you, and as long
Mm.
as your speaking is comprehensible. That's all right. Okay.
Okay,
Speaking of
so
Singapore, Mbak Desa here. First of all, congratulations to Desa because she just finished her master degree in Singapore.
thank
Congratulations.
you, thank
So,
you
but
so
so
much.
Desa, can you tell us a little bit about what you are studying in Singapore?
All right. So, in Singapore, I studied in the University of Singapore. As you know, it's one of the university in Singapore. Uh, And the program that I took is actually Master of Science Integrated Sustainable Design. So because actually my background profile is architect, so this program is actually still in the architecture major, but more detail and mastering about integrated sustainable design. So just a bit about integrated sustainable design is kind of if you know that today's our big problem is like a climate change, a global
Right.
warming, right?
Mm.
So uh, um, uh, the sustainable design is one of the strategy to tackle these kind of problems. Of course, sustainability it's not only in the architecture field. A lot of other fields also doing that. But here, the master is talking about the sustainability movement and strategies, especially in the building design and also both on the building design and the urban design.
Wow,
So yeah, both
it's a
urban scale as
rather peculiar program, I think, because it's
mm,
not it's not always it's not every time that you heard that you find architecture
yeah.
program under the
Mm,
umbrella of Faculty of Science. So it's
sustainability.
very interesting.
Mm. Oh
Okay,
no,
so yeah.
actually the faculty is still under the School of Design and Environment.
Right.
Yeah, so still under the architectural word lah. But the program is focused on the sustainability strategies in terms of building scale and urban scale.
Right.
So no need to like taking a 2 years programs. But of course, all the things like we have to learn a lot more than those who are having 2 years program, right? So
I
that's
see.
why
Right.
during the study time, actually, I'm very busy, and I'm now in Singapore. I'm taking the program from Singapore directly because we in Singapore everything is good now. The COVID situation is a bit stable, so we went to the university also
Hmm.
to have a physical class. So during the study time, actually, I didn't do any other works because
Yeah.
I really
Because
need
the
to
course
focus on
itself
the program.
feels like a work.
I think so.
Yeah, because I can see from your social media that you attend your um, architect studio almost every day.
Yes,
I know you were doing your courses, but it it looks like work.
it's harder than a work.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. It's more demanding than your work. Okay, speaking about
Yeah.
work, so how long have you been working as an architect?
All right. I graduated from undergraduate study in 2016. Means until now it's around for 5 years. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Actually, I worked 4 years in the professional field, and then I studied this master
Mm.
1 year. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So, and how do you finally manage to to pursue your study in Singapore? How how do you realize your dream to study architecture
Mhm.
in Singapore?
All right. this is very interesting. Every time I have a webinar saying about why I should study in Singapore, I always say this at the beginning. Because you see, of course, architecture is one of my passions since I was kid. So that's why I study architecture. But yes, I went to Gajah Mada University for the undergraduate study. But then in terms of the master study, actually architecture is very wide range of master programs lah. You can choose whether you can be a really professional architect or maybe a urban designer or even urban planner and other things. But one of the interesting thing for me, the major is the one that called as integrated sustainable design. Why? Because if you see today our one of the big problems, no, I think this is the biggest problem for all of us, and even though for all generations is the climate change and the global warming. If we didn't do anything, if we don't do anything for our future, in terms of the climate change, it will be so bad. We don't know whether maybe in 2100 our Earth still can be something really beautiful like today, right? So that's why seeing these kind of things are happening on our Earth. So I'm thinking to have so basically from my profession, what can I do, right? So that's why and then I checked there's something called the sustainable design. This is a strategy how to apply the sustainability strategies on the building design. Means, for example,
right.
when I design a building, for example, I have to really think whether the building is really eco-friendly or something.
And how the building will will influence the surroundings.
Yes, and even we also not really thinking about the people itself. I mean the users of the building, but also the biodiversity that is actually exists on that area.
So let's just say if you are designing a building, you are also thinking about some birds who happen to be making nests on top of the roof.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You do think about that?
Yes. We did that kind of research before we are really doing the architectural designs. Of course, not all the projects will be like this because it takes time, it takes energy, and it takes a lot of money as well. But in the big buildings, I think we should really contribute on our earth by at least put some strategies in terms of the sustainable design. And then so talking about Singapore, actually, if you check on the internet, Singapore is one of the leading country in the world in the sustainability movement.
Oh, really?
So
is that true?
Yes. Yeah, you can check it.
Well,
you can check it.
Tell us about it.
All right. So if you see the Singapore from the bird eye view, the top view,
yes,
you can see that actually, even though Singapore, as we know, is a very developed country, it's all over Singapore is urban area, but you can see that a lot of greenery there. Unlike the other city, for example, maybe
unlike Jakarta.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if you see a top view of Tokyo, it's also very different. Tokyo is full of concrete pencil building.
Right.
But in Singapore, you can see a lot of greenery. So it's very easy to say like, okay, sustainability movement or strategy is simply put the greenery on the building. Yes, one of them, yes, that's true. But anyway, when you really study about the integrated sustainable design, you will find a lot more interesting things in terms of the design. So for example, you said about the birds, you say about the insects, for example. So we have to really think about this. One of the example, like for example, you have a project, a building, for example, in one site, and then if this site was for example, full of trees, for example, there is nothing there. There was nothing there, and then only trees, for example. So you can imagine that within this area, actually, you can find a lot of animals. You can find a lot of trees, plants, and other things, right? These things. Then, when you want to build something on that land, means that you will destroy everything.
Right.
You
of course.
destroy the ecosystem, right? So this is very bad, right? and then you build a concrete building on that, on the top of that land. It's also very bad. So
Yeah,
the
it is bad
idea,
because you get rid all of the creatures.
yes, yes, yeah, you really destroy the ecosystem. So in this program, actually, we learn some of the strategy how to we substitute the this kind of things, that because we build the concrete, like I said before, but we will substitute these ecosystems into the building. So we
Ah, I
create
see.
a new ecosystem, a new habitat for these all living things.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
The new
Singapore,
habitat in exchange for the land we use to
yes,
establish our buildings.
true.
Right.
And some of the strategies actually also we will elevated the building instead of we really build on the top of the land. So we will have an elevated building. So we liberate all the ground level still for
Ah,
the
I
existing industry.
see. Right.
That's a
So,
secret.
so it's basically the principle of a stilt house. You know
Mm.
stilt house?
Sorry,
Stilt house?
still
Rumah
still
panggung?
house.
Stilt
Oh
house,
yes,
rumah
yes,
panggung.
yes.
Stilt house, right?
Yeah, kind of,
Yeah. You can,
kind
yeah,
of, yes.
yeah. Most people who live inside a stilt house keep their
Mm.
pets, not pets actually. Their
Yeah,
chickens,
I know.
right, and
Yes,
their cattle's under the
yeah,
house,
below.
so that
Yes,
they
yes.
don't have to expand their land.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very
Yeah,
interesting idea. All
yeah.
right, now
Actually,
speaking about your study, so did you
mm,
earn any scholarship, to pursue your study in Singapore?
yeah, yeah. I got a scholarship from if you know LPDP.
Right.
It's from the Ministry of Finance of Indonesia. So actually, they have I don't know, yeah, whether this is a department or something, but this actually Indonesia, it can, our government is actually very good now. They are really push a lot of young people to study abroad, to get the knowledge as much as they can abroad, and then they will bring back all those knowledge to Indonesia. So they have a lot of money to pay our tuition fee.
Yeah. And in return, you have to go back to Indonesia and contribute to the society.
Yes, yes.
Okay, right. So before we move any further, let's talk about your background. Not your professional background, but your literal virtual background. Yes, that's it. Excelia hobbies. What is that?
All
Can you
right.
explain to our audience what is Excelia hobbies?
Okay, Expalia Hobby is actually besides my really probation, my real probation as an architect,
Huh?
I'm also doing retailing for action figures. So
Ah, you're selling
yeah,
toys?
yeah, like a
Yeah.
toys. You can say toys, but it's not that toys for kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it's collectible
Right.
toys, collectible items. Mostly, of course, Japanese animations, characters. But yes, of course, we are not limited to the Japanese characters
Mm.
only.
Right.
We have a lot of brands. We have a lot of types and characters as well. And yeah, because this is one of my hobbies, so I did this, and fortunately, until this time, the store is still ongoing, and we gradually increase our sales and other things. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know what happened actually, because this is like my only my hobby, but actually from these things, I can also learn a lot. I can also, you know, for example, I have some staffs
Right.
now in the
Mm.
shop helping me, so means that this shop is also can support them, because we also can give them salary and other things, and I see that they also enjoy while
Yeah.
working in this shop. So
So it's
that's
a
also,
it's a
I'm so
hobby that
happy.
turned out to be fruitful for other people.
I hope so.
Yeah. I think it is.
I
All
hope
right.
so.
So yeah. Well, I think working as an architect is, you know, quite exhausting, but at the same time, you were also, you were also managing this collectibles shop of yours. And how do you manage your time between your hobbies, your work, and that and your effort to to prepare yourself for the scholarship? How do you manage your time among these three activities?
All right.
How did you manage your time?
It's actually a very interesting questions
Right.
because
Because not
if
everyone can
I
do it,
if
right? Not everyone can do it. You do
I
three.
yeah, I
You
don't
did
know.
three things at the same time.
I don't know, but honestly, for me, if I need to, if somebody asks me to come back to that time when I have to do those three things together,
Hmm.
I will say no
Not
because
again.
it was so hard.
Not
Not again,
again.
please.
Please,
Because it was,
enough.
yeah, please,
Hmm.
because actually what happened is, yes, architecture works are taking times, taking energy. It's not that easy because because also maybe I'm still young, so I don't have that many people helping me on drawings, for example. So I need to draw myself. I need to communicate with the client
Right.
myself and other things. That's why I'm become so busy. And then the shop itself, actually, fortunately like this, because I start the shop is actually since I was in undergraduate school.
Right.
So yeah, and all was based on online. So we didn't have any physical store yet that time. I started online and I start selling online. Everything is online. And then after I graduated from the undergraduate study, actually I already got some customers, and that's good because when I really start the shop, when I really start the business, I didn't do a lot of efforts. I didn't spend a lot of efforts to really look for customers because I already have some of them. So that's why I can hire some people to help me. So that's one thing. Okay. So
That's just one
actually,
thing. Yes.
just one thing. Extalia hobbies for me, maybe I just put around 20% of all my energy on the stores, if
Oh,
I can
okay.
say.
Right.
Okay.
What about the
And
rest
then
of the 80%? Tell
yeah,
us.
the 80% was actually for architectural works, but then I still have a dream to really pursue higher study in not in Indonesia, but I really want to study abroad.
Right.
I was thinking about Singapore and other things. So, of course, study in Singapore is very expensive. I can say that tuition fee and then the living cost, all is very expensive.
Yes, we
So I
know.
should, yeah, I should really found the way how to pay all of those a lot of money.
Right.
How to get those big amounts of money. So means I need to think, okay, then I need the scholarship. So one step is I'm thinking about the scholarship first. I didn't really think about the school first.
Yeah.
Actually, I think about
You need the
the
funding
scholarship
first.
first. Yeah, I need the funding first, make sure that I can pay the tuition fee. So of course I check some of the scholarship things, and then like I check that the LPDP is actually giving the best support. At the time I searched a lot of
Yeah.
list scholarship, and
Yeah.
then I think that okay, LPDP is giving the
Yeah.
best.
Because when we if
So
we compare to other scholarship, LPDP actually
yeah,
covers almost everything.
covers a lot of, yeah, it's almost everything, even in very detailed things like
Right.
books they support you, right? So this is very important also. And then after that I need to check what kind of things, how to like how to pass the examinations, and yeah, administrations, and then the interview and all the things that the LPDB will ask, right? This is very important that we need time to prepare for it.
Yes.
Otherwise, LPDP is very popular scholarship. A lot of people will fight with everything
Yes.
they have to get this scholarship.
It's basically the
So
Takeshi
this is
Castle
not
of
really easy.
scholarship. It's basically
Yes,
Takeshi Castle of scholarship.
that's true.
Countless people fight for it every
That's true.
year.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. That's why at that time what I did was actually in the day I work for the company because I work in a construction company. But then in the evening, once I finish my work at the contractor company, I really focus on the,
Yes. If you are
all the
finished.
requirements.
If you are finished with the work. That's a big if. Right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I should. That's why
Ah,
it's
I
also
see.
one of your motivation to
Hmm.
finish your work as soon as possible, so that you can have another time to focus on the other things.
Wow. Very impressive. Very
Yeah.
impressive, Desta. What a motivation.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Thanks.
That's quite a motivation. Right?
All right. Yeah. I hope can motivate you all.
Okay. And were you required to, to take a certain English proficiency test for the scholarship?
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, the English proficiency test, the score. Yeah, we need to also submit our TOEFL score
Oh, what kind of
for the
TOEFL was that?
scholarship.
Was it? What kind of TOEFL was
The
that?
I actually there are two different types for the scholarship itself, and then when you apply for the programs in the US, it will
Mhm.
be different also. So for the scholarship, actually they only ask you for the ITP.
Right.
So the ITP one, I don't know what to say. This that's a paper.
It's a paper based,
Is
the
it?
PBT ITP.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's the
Oh, yeah,
same.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That one,
Right.
that one. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I don't know the name,
Yeah.
but yeah. But actually, that time I submit the IBT because I need the IBT for the National University of Singapore, the NUS. When
Right.
I apply to the program this university, I need the IBT. I cannot submit the ITP. They will not receive the ITP.
Yeah, yes. Because I think it is because IBT is in many ways more comprehensive to measures one's
I
English
Yes, I
proficiency.
think so. They have the speaking part
Yes.
also, right? So I think it's also very
Yeah, it's
important.
just like IELTS,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the IELTS of TOEFL.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
true.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
IELTS actually you can use IELTS also for NUS. Yeah, so you can choose whether you want to take the IPT or you want to take the IELTS.
Okay,
Of
so
course, they
if
have
yeah,
a different standard. Uh,
if some of our audience want to pursue their study in Singapore, what should they prepare? Should they prepare the PBT, the IELTS, or the IBT? Which one is the best? What do you think?
of course, not PBT.
Oh,
Of
right.
course, not PBT.
Hmm.
PBT I don't think nowadays for the university they will accept the PBT.
Right.
So I think better to prepare with the IBT or IELTS
I
for
see.
English. Yeah, it's very important that you also can reach the standards, the minimum score of those two.
Okay, so and how hard was the IBT for you?
Well, I could say that IBT for me was super hard.
Really? Just how hard?
You know,
Yeah.
I just want. Okay, honestly, I took the test three times
Oh,
before
really?
I really can. Yeah, before I really can pass the minimum requirements of NUS.
Oh, okay. And can you tell us the minimal requirement for NUS?
92, 92. It's not
92. That's
high, but it's not high, right?
it's
Compared to the
rather
US
high.
university. Huh?
It's quite high.
Uh, yeah, some programs maybe they can accept around 85, so around 85 to 92.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, if you compare with the university in the US, mostly in the US they will ask 100. So yes, that's why I think, yeah, and then Singapore, because all the programs are delivering in English, so I think your English proficiency needs to be really good. I mean, you have to really at least understand when people are speaking English, and then a lot of a lot of presentations that we have to do also during the program means that you have to have that kind of skills to deliver your materials when you do the presentations
Yes, yes, right.
very well, right?
Yeah, because you are
Otherwise they
required
cannot
to present
understand.
as well. As an architect, you have to make people listen to your
Yes,
project.
true. They should understand.
Right.
That's why.
And what was the hardest part of IBT? What was the hardest part of IBT for you?
IBT. For me, is actually the reading part.
Oh, the reading part. Okay. Explain why was
Yes.
it so hard?
Well, because I don't really like reading. That's why when I see a lot of text, I would get sleepy.
Oh.
that's that's the
Okay.
reasons. Um, that's why I think some of the tips also when you are about to take the IBT test or whatever I mean, like not IBT and also IELTS, maybe you have to really prepare yourself not only for the practice your English and other things, but you have to really prepare. You take enough sleep, you take enough food lah, so you're not hungry during the time of the
Exactly,
testing.
exactly. You don't want to
So,
take the test and then fall asleep.
yes, true. That's even not even if you are feeling sleepy during the
Mhm.
test, it's also dangerous because you cannot really focus on that on all the
Especially
tests
during the
because
listening section.
yeah, I think all the things lah, all the listening, the readings, all are very important. If you lose your focus, then by I think
I
it's
see.
it's so dangerous. Yeah, and it's actually a simple thing, right? This is a
Hmm.
simple thing that actually we can do, everybody can do. But sometimes because we are too nervous or something, that it makes us, yeah, like not enough sleep, not enough eating, and then like, yeah.
And what did you do before the test? What did you do before the test to prepare yourself? Did you, you know,
Yes.
did you take enough sleep? Did you
Yeah,
avoid
yeah, yeah.
eating anything spicy that so that you won't have to go to the toilet?
Not really, but yes, actually, that's also important,
Right.
of course. But I don't really like spicy, so it's safe.
Ah,
But
okay.
yes, to get enough sleep, and then of course the important one is you really also need to prepare yourself by practicing a lot. But don't do it like in one night before the test.
Of
Do
course.
it like a few months, even
Hmm.
even few months or few weeks. At least a few weeks is actually already very better. So a few months before the test,
All right.
you need to
So,
really prepare. You can do practicing yourself by buying a books, or you can join any courses.
right. So, how did you prepare yourself for the test? How many months did you spend for the preparation, or how many weeks?
Actually, it was a few weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I cannot say also, yeah, because actually I took the test 3 times, like I said before.
Hmm.
If I count all those three tests means I prepare it like a few months, because I prepare and then I got a test, and then I didn't pass the minimum requirements, and then I had time to practice on myself again, and then I get a test again, and I still didn't get the requirement, and then I prepare again. So something like
Oh,
that until
okay.
3 times. So basically, that's why I said that actually very important to really prepare yourself, not only in a short period. And actually, it also depends on your skills. Maybe most of you already can speak English very well. You understand about the grammars and other things. You can just like try to practicing a simple things and try to remember the grammar and other things. But if your English is not that good, I think you really need to focus and prepare. You should have a few months to really prepare before the test, because
Oh, so
because
you
the
so
test is
you were
also
saying
very
that we should,
expensive.
you know, we should recognize our own skill to find out
Yes,
what is our strength and our weakness.
true, true. And then you can prepare yourself better because you know your weakness, you know your strength, right?
All right. And what is your strength in IBT test, Desta?
All right. I think it will be the listening part.
Okay. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it easy for you?
Uh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe because like that's why like a reading. Of course, that's my weakness part. Because I don't like reading. But in the listening,
Understandable.
I can be more focused. And then maybe because sometimes when I watch a movie, English movie, I try to really listen, so
Hmm.
I can recognize the accent and other things. So yeah, so I can understand a bit. And then I can understand the the people there in the TOEFL test are saying, so I can
Right.
answer the question.
Oh, I see it. And so, how do you know?
Mm.
How do you, manage the time to prepare yourself for the test? Because you said earlier that you were busy. You were very busy. And how did you do the time management?
All right, this is very good questions also.
Huh.
So I can give you some tips. Actually, for me, the best thing is if you can take a course. It can be a course with special space. No, I mean especially if you really want to pass the IBT test or IELTS. Yeah, I think better you really take the course which is especially aiming for that thing, for the
Right.
IBT and IELTS. That's the first thing. The second one is because I was busy, means that if I took the course, I should really have the course that can meet my time schedule.
For
And
example.
it's not, yeah. For example, Omni, of
Yes.
course. Like,
Desta was one of my earliest students. Yeah,
yes, that's
congratulations,
great.
Desta. You did it finally, right? It's good to see you here.
Thank,
Again, then
thank you,
continue,
thank
carry on.
you, thank you.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's why. So I was so happy because like the time schedule was also actually very flexible. Like
Hmm.
sometimes I said like, oh my gosh, actually today we're supposed to have a course, but actually something happened in my office, then I couldn't go back early, means I couldn't take the course today, so can we postpone to tomorrow, for example?
Right.
So it's also very good for me.
Yeah.
So I think for professionals, if you are working, I think this time schedule is very important also. At the same time, when you really need to learn more about the IBT, about the IELTS, of course you need also someone to really at least give you some advice, and then guide you to the right ones, because my English is very how can I say, the autodidact. Is
Yes.
it in English?
That's an English.
So
That's an English word actually. Autodidact,
okay, okay.
right? That's an English
Autodidact.
word.
Yes, autodidact. Okay,
Yes.
I didn't know. All right, so autodidact. That's why actually I didn't really know about grammars and other things.
Hmm.
But when you come to um, when you have to really do the test, you have to really also put attention on these kind of things, the grammar and all the things. Even when you have the speaking test, you they will also marks your grammar. So means that you have to really really care about this. So means you need someone that can guide you, right? Otherwise you cannot also pass, even though you can speak very fluent, like a
Right.
lot of people, or other people still can understand what you are speaking about, but if your grammar is not good for IBT, still your score will not be get higher.
Yeah, and I think it is also important, to technically master the test, because no matter how good your English is, even if you are a native
Yeah,
speaker, you can still
yeah,
fail the test if you don't know how to do it.
true. Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, that's why.
Right. So, and uh, perhaps can you tell us the score you finally got after you after you finish your your process, your learning process with Omni?
Yeah, last score I got a 92.
92. Exactly what they need from you then.
Yes,
Right.
that's why. But at least I can pass there.
Well, at least you got what you need. So that's it. You're done.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's
Hmm.
that's why.
Okay,
But of
now,
course,
yeah, carry on.
this is just a bit information.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a very interesting story also. Because I study in Singapore, it's not. It is the country which most of people speak it in English, but 60% people here are Chinese, and then the rest of them are actually mix of Malay, Indian, and Angmo. Angmo
What
means
is Angmo?
the Angmo is Western, the Caucasian.
Oh, the Caucasian, the Angmo.
Yeah, we call them Angmo
In
in
Indonesia, we
Singapore.
call them we call them bule. In Singapore, we
Bule,
call
yes,
them
true.
Angmo.
Angmo. All right, yes,
Angmo.
yes.
Okay,
so
that's a
so
new
what?
thing for me.
Yeah,
Angmo. Okay.
Angmo.
Duly
So what
noted.
happened is what happened is actually still I was a bit shocked when first time I came to Singapore and joined the program because in my batch there are a lot of students coming from a lot of countries, not only Singapore but also Colombia, Japan, Korea, China, India, Philippines, Hong Kong, so many, right?
Right.
So what happened? Even though they are all speaking English, but their accent is totally different. It's really difficult to understand them when you are first time meeting. For example, we got a group for the group work, and the group is consists of Indian, Chinese, Japanese, for example.
Right.
So when the Japanese speaks, they have their Japanese English style, the
Right.
accent,
And they
is,
have their
as you know, it's not really easy to understand, right?
right. I know.
Yeah, and then the Chinese and the Indian, Pakistan and Bangladesh, they got a similar accent, which is for me super difficult to understand. And then they speak English very well, very fluent, with their own accent, but it's actually very, very difficult to understand, and they speak very fast. It's
Right.
also problematic. I was shocked. I didn't understand what they're speaking about, but then I think I took around 1 month to really adapt to all these accents.
Oh, okay. So basically, your IBT test didn't help you at all.
For
The
Singapore, yeah,
test
for
only help the
Singapore.
test only help you for the university, but it didn't help you with the life. So you have to
For
redo
Singapore, yeah.
everything.
Yes, for Singapore. But maybe when you meet Angmo, for example, of
Yes.
course, Angmo they are native speakers.
Yeah.
Angmo from US or
Yeah.
from British, yeah, they speak English, really English.
Yeah.
You
The
still can
English, the English
understand
we
them.
know, the standard English.
Yes, the standard English. We still can understand, of course, because every time we practice for the TOEFL and the IELTS, of course, we heard that accent.
Yes.
But when you meet the Asian speaking English, it's really problematic.
And how do you adapt your language skill to this, to the environment,
Of course, it should be every day. It's like a daily basis practice.
right?
you you have to really communicate with them every day. Yeah,
Hmm.
because I study here, I speak to them every day. I have to, I must speak with them. I must discuss with them. So I don't know, yeah. Like after around 1 month, I already get used to it, and I can understand clearly what they said. I was just remember when I was first time coming to Singapore and heard about the Indian speaking English. I was so stressed. I was so afraid because they speak so fast, and I couldn't understand at all. I was like, what? And then like,
Did you actually
but my
did you
mom,
actually say that thing? Did you actually say what?
yeah, in Singapore. Oh, sorry, that's also maybe part of it, Singapore.
Yeah.
That's sorry, because Singapore, like for example, are you able to do this? Like we can say, like, hey, can or not?
Can or not? Huh?
Yeah,
Can you repeat
can or
again?
not?
Can or not?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I don't understand, yeah. Can or not? This one,
Oh yeah, that's yeah, that's yeah, yes, yes, yeah, of course. There's that yeah. That
Yeah,
one
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
exist in standard English, but you do it anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us a few words that that you learn
Mm-hmm.
from Singaporean English?
Ah, Singaporean. Singlish. Okay, basically, Singlish is actually mix of some language, several
Hmm.
language, like the Chinese Mandarin,
The
the
Malay?
Hokkien, Canton, Malay,
Oh,
Indian.
okay.
Indian not really Tamil, Tamil not really much, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe not really much. And of course English. English are actually people are using English mostly. But if you meet some aunties or uncle,
Yeah, until like
we
Uncle
call them
Roger. Like Uncle
uncle.
Roger?
Yes, yes, true. Uncle Roger. Uncle Roger doesn't like fried rice. The UK
Right.
fried rice, the British fried rice. Anyway, uh, that's why actually, for example, I just give you an example. In Singapore, when you want to ask your friend to go have lunch, you don't say, "Hey, let's go have lunch." No,
Hmm.
but we can say like, "Hey, let's go makan."
Oh, really? Let's go makan?
Yes, yeah, let's
Or
go
jom
makan.
jom eat lah, like Malaysia. Do you
So
do you say that? Jom eat lah?
no,
No, really.
I not really.
Yeah.
No, not really. I think,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know. But I didn't really. Yeah. I heard a lot about let's go makan.
Hmm. Oh,
That's
okay.
the thing.
Or
And then
let's go makan nasi lemak.
yeah, let's go makan. Where nasi lemak lah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for example, if you want to say, oh, that's a great thing, you can just only like, oh, sure.
Oh, shock. Shock with K.
Oh, sure.
Shock. Ah, shock. Shock is great.
Sure.
Excellent.
Yeah, yes.
Ah, okay.
And then if you say, "Oh, you are so crazy," xiao ah,
Xiao Ah,
xiao
okay. Shock, xiao and then?
xiao. And then of course like lah, leh, meh.
Yes.
There's also they say a lot. Don't be the like, oh. Also another words that is quite famous is sabotage.
Sab-
Sabo.
sabotage?
Sabotage.
Like to,
Yeah,
to
means
destroy
like what?
things?
No, it's like for example, you were in the class and then you have to do the presentation. This is
Right.
a sample, yeah. You want to do a presentation and you show something really amazing, different compared to the other. And then
Okay.
like everybody will like, oh my god, you are so sabo lah.
Sabo. So
Like
sabo.
you,
You are
yeah,
so
you understand,
excellently
right?
unique.
Yeah, extremely unique, but it's also make the others looks bad.
Oh, okay. So it's not only a praise, but it's also a kind of pressure for the others.
Yeah. Yes, like,
Oh, okay.
what, this person so
That's a
sabo
very
ah,
strange compliment.
yes,
Compliment
strange.
and not actually an insult. Well, how do you say that?
Yeah,
So it is
not
actually a
actually.
compliment and peer pressure at the same time.
I don't. Yeah, that's why I'm not sure this is a compliment or not. But yeah, I think so far.
Oh, okay.
Difficult to say.
And how do you express yourself if you are disappointed or angry?
As angry, yeah. I forget. There's a word, but I forget because I never use that.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's something, but I forget. Maybe can check on the Google. But we didn't really use it so much because yeah, of course, because when you say that, you have to say to your very close friends. For
Right.
example, you do the presentation and you talk to your professor. You of course cannot even use lah, leh, meh, mo, the other things. Cannot lah, cannot. You have to use your
Proper
better English,
English.
proper English.
Proper English.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, I have this one question. So, if you know, let's just say that some of my audience or most of my audience know that they will eventually work in Singapore. Do you think they really need to learn proper English before moving to Singapore, or do they simply need to adapt with the local dialect of Singapore? What should we do? Should we prepare ourselves with proper English first, or should we just adapt with the Singaporean English?
All right. This will depend on the works that you will get in.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can speak proper English,
Right.
means usually it will be useful when you get a job. I mean, like there is two types of jobs. You can work professionally, or you can work as, for example, labor
Right.
or other things. I mean, like not a professional work. All right. So in the professional work, of course, you have to really can speak proper English.
Right.
Yeah. But if for the daily life, for example, you want to buy something, you go to the hawker center. Hawker center is the kind of a food court.
It's like Singaporean
Yeah.
food court.
Yes, Singaporean food court. We call it hawker center. Not
Right.
not hawker center, but hawker center.
What's the difference?
A bit about Singapore. A bit
Oh.
like that. The
Okay.
accent.
Okay. Got it.
We go to the hawker center.
Hawker center.
You go to the hawker center.
Right.
Actually, Singlish is more useful. And then even if you can speak proper English, sometimes if you were not adaptable to that Singlish, it really difficult to understand. Also,
I
the
see.
Singlish.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's also difficult. And then like Indian English, actually people in Singapore, when they speak in Singlish, they speak very fast. And the words, because their accent makes some words are not really clear. That's why sometimes we cannot understand the words, even
Right.
though actually we know the words in proper English. But they said it very fast in very Singaporean accent. So for this thing, for daily life, for me, actually, it is more useful if you can speak Mandarin.
Oh, okay. It is even more useful than English.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. That's why I learn Mandarin now. I learn again.
You learn again. Oh, you used to learn Mandarin.
When I was kid, but I forget almost everything.
The only Mandarin word I know is Zaqian. Zaqian.
Zaijian.
Zaqian. Means
Zaijian.
Zaqian. Zaqian means goodbye, right?
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye bye. Zaqian. Zaqian. Right. Oh. Okay.
Zaijian.
Yeah. So in
Not Zaijian. Zaijian.
Zaiqian.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So in other words, English is important if you want to advance your career, but adapting
Yes.
to Singaporean English is equally important so that you can mingle with the local populations, with the local people,
yes.
right? Oh, right. Okay, so we must not think that standard English is the most proper English in the world, but we also have to open ourselves to the other variant of English in the world.
Yes.
Right.
True.
But so, can we actually say that you are speaking? How many languages do you speak actually? Indonesian, Japanese, English, and two different English:
English.
Singaporean English and proper English. Because
I don't know.
we have to admit that Singaporean English is a entire different set of language.
I think so. I
I
think
think,
so.
really think so,
But
right?
yeah, yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, I found that Singaporean English is for me is quite interesting. So that's why I maybe adapt to it a bit fast.
Okay.
Because I found it very interesting. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then like they made it everything very short, so it's very easy. Like I said before, like hey, can or not,
Can
it's
or not?
finished. Yeah. So tomorrow I'm okay lah. Can meet or not? Then you can only say yeah can or only can.
Okay. Will people find it strange if you communicate with will people in Singapore find it strange if you communicate with them in proper English? For example, if you want to communicate with your peers in proper English, will they consider you as a, you know, stranger? Not actually stranger. Will you consider you as weird?
Mm, um, what do you mean? Like the people who are we talk to is Singaporean or not?
Yes. If you talk to a Singaporean, will they find it weird
Ah,
if you communicate with them in a proper English?
no, 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 not at all.
Not at all.
Of course, these days, because these days, right, we can access the internet and other things. Actually, Singaporean are also watching Netflix, watching a lot of things. They easily can understand easily the proper English, but maybe like I said before, here people are still attached strongly to their family roots. Like for example, you are from a Chinese family, means your family speak Chinese. You are a
Right.
Malay family, your family will speak Malay.
Hmm.
So like an Indonesian, for example, we speak
Right.
Japanese, right? Uh, we say that our English is actually medok, kan?
Right.
So actually, this is I think similar. Like because in Singlish, we can find a lot of words from Malay words, from the Chinese, and from the Cantonese words because they speak it every day with their family. They speak in Chinese, for example, but when they go to the school, because their classmates not only Chinese, of course they should speak English,
Right.
but
Right.
maybe their accent is still there, the Chinese accents, the Malay accents, right?
It's
So this is why it make it very interesting.
okay.
Maybe yeah,
I
this
think if
is from
Singaporean
what
can
I
do that,
observe.
we also need to do that as well. I mean, we also have to be proud with our accent as well. So it's okay
I
to be
think
madok, I
so.
think, right?
I think so. That's why I don't understand why people are like, oh, I don't like madok things and blah.
It's
I
okay
say,
to be madok. It's part of ourself, part of our
I think
culture.
so. Even actually for English, right? English is madok, right?
Right, it's a madok. It's basically mad because in
English is
Japanese
madok.
madok mean thick, right? Thick. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
your English is so madok that means your English the Japanese accent in your English is very thick.
Very thick.
Very
Yeah.
thick.
Yeah, it's same like in Singapore English because you're Malay and Mandarin very thick. I mean, that's why you speak English like that.
Hmm. Okay. So as a non-native, it's okay to, to
I
retain our accent when we speak English.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think so. Especially in Singapore because Singaporean are get used to to live with a lot of people from all over the world. Means
Right.
that they yeah, because we are so mixed here in Singapore. Like I said, even in my class there are a lot of people from a lot of countries.
Right.
So actually we have to learn to really understand them, how they speak, and we have to learn, yeah, also their behavior and other things. That's why I think language is also part of it. Means that we really have to really understand lah. Then we try to get used to it. So it also brings a really big advantage for our own self because we can communicate with a lot of people. When you
Right.
go to Japan, you can understand Japanese. It's
Japan
easier, right?
Japanglish, right?
Hmm. Japanese, it is here also, right? When you have to say something in
Well,
Japanese, sometimes in the proper English they will not understand
right.
in Japan, right? So we can say in Japanese they
Do you
maybe
know
understand.
excuse me, Obasan, do you know where the
Yes,
McDonald is? But instead, you can say, do
Makudo,
you know where the
Ma,
McDonarudo? Mac
Makudo Naruto,
Makudo Narudo?
Makudo Naruto,
Makudo Narudo, right?
Naruto,
Ah.
Aitsukurimu.
Aisukurimu chocolate. Basically, katakana is the Japanese English.
Yes, true.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That's why when you go to Malay, actually, Malaysian people they also speak similar, very similar to Singaporean. So yeah, their English is also similar to Singaporean. So that's why I can say, if you really can adapt to those all types of English,
Right.
it's amazing. You can understand
So
when
the key
Japanese
is
speaking
adaptations.
Korean.
Adapt.
Yes, adapt to it.
Just adapt. Okay. Okay. So it starts. So it starts by the book first. Starts by the book and then adapt.
Hmm. Yes, yes, true. And
Okay.
and of course, it's like a daily basis practice. I cannot say that you only learn once a week, it will be enough. Of course not.
Not
It should be every day.
right. Okay, but Desa, do you before we close this the talk, do you have any wisdoms or anything you want to share to our audience before we wrap it up,
All right.
especially for the audience who are preparing themselves to pursue higher study abroad.
All right. I think most of the audience maybe will be from Indonesia, right?
Of
So
course.
I just want to say to all Indonesian young professional or young students or other things like you still have a lot of time. Please use it wisely, and I think to have a big dream is also very important. Whether it will be very difficult to achieve your goals, I think it doesn't matter. Just try to do it first, and of course, English. English, I think it's one of the important thing also that can support your dreams because when you can speak English, when other people can understand you, you actually really can open a broader world.
Right.
And yeah, then you get a lot of knowledge. I just realized it when I actually came to Singapore. I met a lot of people from around the world, and I use English to speak every day. And I got a lot of knowledge, not only from one country or one community, but from around the world. So,
Uh,
yeah. So English very important.
that's English very important, and if you are working while preparing for your study, time management is equally important.
Yes, time, of course, time management. Yes,
All
that's
right,
also
that's it,
important.
Badesa. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. So good luck, stay healthy,
Thank you
and I'll
also.
be waiting for your return in Indonesia. All right, see ya.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
That's all. Bye
Thank you.
bye. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.